Scott Narver, I am so sorry. I just don't think I'm going to have time to record a show this week. We've got a lot going on here in New York, and we're dealing with a couple things up in the air, and I'm just...
Well, Jake.
I've been, doing the best I can to, find time, but I just don't think I'm really going to be able to make the time. What?
I have WWE Mad Libs.
Oh, why don't you say something? We're definitely going to do a show.
WWE Mad Libs and a couple more things this week on Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hey, Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Hello to everybody out there listening in the pod feed. We are unfortunately not live right now with the patrons. I do apologize for that, but we had some scheduling issues and weren't able to make kind of the usual spiel work, but we just wanted to sit down real quick and get something out into the pod feed for all of the millions and millions of PWP listeners out there.
Look, if you're here in the States, the equivalent is, hey, I didn't have time to make dinner. Sorry, everybody. Look, I got hot dogs from Costco. Here you go.
So this is the Costco. Ooh, boy. Tamina right off the bat.
Tamina got right deep in that Costco.
Costco hot dogs of episode.
Yep.
Great. One might say it's Hot Dog-a-mania. Get your shirts now available at pwpalskis.com.
That's right.
Just in time for 4th of July, you're going to want that Hot Dog-a-mania shirt for 4th of July. You're going to be the hit of your barbecue when they laugh at that shirt and go, what the fuck is that? Looks like Hulk Hogan from the 80s. And you're going to be like, yeah, that's right. It's Hot Dog-a-mania, bitches. America.
Yeah.
Even though we're not live.
And then if popular demand requests it, then there'll be a Mr. America hot dog for next year.
Okay, maybe. We'll see. If popular demand. If we sell enough.
God, I say popular demand. I put a caveat and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. If
it sells by the thousands and people demand it, you're like,
All right, good. I'm glad you said it, not me. Okay. Even though we're not live, we still must acknowledge current PWP World Champ Gilbert Short, a.k.a. Goliathon, who will defend that title in the Championship Battle Royal here in just a few. I do have the jar.
Death.
It is a battle to the death. I have the jar here, the jar of championships. Oh, well, never mind. Just the microphone. I tried to make it so people could hear it shaking, but it barely makes any sound. And I just bashed the microphone with the jar. That's happening in just a few here.
We can see the letters.
What letters?
On your mic. You always hide it.
Do I? Do I really hide the letters on my microphone?
I don't think you'd typically show your Jake LB.
Is that something that I subconsciously do to make it look cleaner on video?
I would assume so, yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever noticed that.
You write your name on the, what is that called?
Pop
it is
filter.
a
pop filter.
What is it? A muffler?
Pop filter. I said it 3 times.
A mic muffler.
Yep, mic muffler. A Michael muffler.
Why is it not called that?
A Michael muffler?
That's like one of the Jericho Appreciation guys. You got Angela. Many hands. Angela Parker. Big Foot Patrol. Matt Moynihan, and then Mike Muffler.
Well, the problem was that WWE had trademarked it because Mike Muffler was originally the 3rd member of Heavy Machinery with Otis and Mother Trucker. Yeah, Michael Muffler.
That guy had 2 names?
Yeah. Yep. Where do you want to start? We do have a couple hotline
Otis,
calls.
Tucker and Mike.
And Muffler.
Mike Muffler. Okay. Where do we want to start? Let's go to the news.
I was trying to think of the old news theme off the top of my head. No. Wasn't it something like that?
Sure.
I don't remember.
It was 10 years ago. I don't know. What was he? Let's take a hotline call.
Let's take a hotline call.
Hey there, Palskis. It's your boy, Tim Bemis. You know where I'm at. I'm over here in Spokane, Washington. You know, I've got to say, recently I've been watching everything unfold on AEW, and I will say that the new storyline that has been going on with the Young Bucks being the EVPs, I'm using fingers here, EVPs, has actually been a bit interesting. I actually enjoy how they're coming out and we're doing this for you, and you know, we love you guys, and I love how they are playing the heel, but also playing the gimmick of we're doing it for the people. I'd like to hear you guys' perspective and anybody else's perspective. Honestly, I feel like AEW is finally starting to understand that they weren't running a lot of very long, they had very long-term storytelling, but I felt like they didn't have good storytelling, and now they're trying to start doing more of that. And I wanted to hear more of you guys' thoughts on that. Anyhow, appreciate y'all. Keep living your dreams.
Tim Bemis. Oh, man, I miss voicemails from Tim.
It sounds like he's doing shows for children as a clown now.
There was like 3 different characters there. I enjoyed each one of those characters. There was like one of them was like a slightly tipsy news reporter. I'm doing fingers.
He's doing fingers. Did
fingers.
You mean air quotes?
No, he meant no. Tim Bemis doesn't misspeak. He's not me. Okay, Tamina does not strike a Bemis.
He does fingers.
He does fingers.
So somebody's getting fingered in AEW. Okay, got that.
Yeah. No, Tim Bemis is fingering AEW, I think was the point.
Yeah, Bemis is giving a finger into AEW.
Oh, he is just knuckle deep. AEW knuckle deep. That's a new pay-per-view.
Gotta be better than most of the other names. Take that, Full Gear.
Oh, you know who would have fit in so well at Full Gear? Michael Muffler.
Oh, Michael now.
I said Michael earlier.
Got a college education, that old Michael.
I said Michael earlier.
Boy. The EVP Young Bucks storyline and just the overall.
Have you been watching it?
In parts, it's a little difficult.
Okay.
I tend to have a well of, I will watch something because it's so bad. I'll enjoy it, and all of it will sit in my brain where useful information will be. But instead, like, I remembered terrible things in wrestling instead. It's really hard to watch for me. I hate to shit in the banana split that Tim Bemis is enjoying.
Oh, you're gonna shit all over his fingers?
But I don't want to do it too much. I'm not enjoying it. I think it's the timing of this is poor because you're going right after The Rock was playing the EVP card, was playing the corporate card.
Okay. And
having the fucking clout that he does, right? And the look and everything like that. And then they're doing it right afterwards. I feel like they're doing everything backwards. They started with Tony Khan. They beat him up first. Then they beat up Kenny Omega. And then they go after, God, who was it? Who was then the next one?
Darby?
Then they went after Christopher Daniels.
Oh, right.
Who wasn't on TV.
Right.
And then they fire him. And it's like, no, this is all backwards. You're doing it in reverse.
They're working them their way from the top of the totem pole to the bottom.
Yeah. They haven't built, because they started so big and it's like, look, we're doing a major thing. Well, all right. Viewership wasn't good and the response wasn't that great. And then people laughed at Tony Khan at the NFL draft. And like, it's not doing
in fairness,
amazing things.
they haven't beat up Tony Khan's dad yet. So there is still room to go higher.
No, because Tony Khan's dad showed up at the end of the show and went, "Is that how you sell? Ugh, you're fucking horrible at this."
He was still disappointed in his son.
It was a microphone to the gut. You don't know what that feels like? I'm going to beat you when we get home. See, that's why you need to beat your kids. So that way they know how to sell in life later in the ring.
All right, there you go. You heard it from Scott Narver.
I don't like it. I get they're doing that part of it. They're saying like, "Oh yeah, we're doing it all for you." So they're doing like a heel getting booed and they're saying, "Thank you. We take this in." So you're wanting to boo more. They're not getting reactions when they come out. Viewership is tanking when they show up on air. It's been tanking. They haven't added anything to the formula. They added Okada, but that's not, he doesn't look like he wants to play along when he's in these vignettes with them. They say dumb shit constantly. When they were doing the whole segment with Daniels it was the Young Bucks versus Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels, two guys that have not been on TV at all for a while.
Did Matt do anything beyond that big battle royal that he debuted and slipped off the ropes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like I have not heard anything about him in that company ever since.
He's been on
2 years ago.
If he's been on the other shows, because I certainly don't have time for the C fucking shows anymore.
Sure.
Like that bridge is very burnt. But they've not been on anything major in any way, right?
Right.
And then they have to say, and Excalibur has to say, Christopher Daniels does a lot more for this company. He actually does. He's in talent relations, and they have to say all this shit that they've never addressed on air.
They have to justify the story that they're actively telling, not set up a story that they're going to tell.
Right. They in no way had any foresight and went like, "Oh, we should really set up Christopher Daniels and let everyone know like he's the heart of this backstage and he's keeping everything going. So when we try and fire him on screen, people will be upset." So they do that, and all in one segment they beat him and then they fire him. And then they also say, "But don't worry, you're going to get 30 days pay still." Like, what? Why? You're evil.
Right.
No pay, nothing. Right. You don't get paid for tonight.
Is the idea
the consistency
though,
of like who's in charge, what Tony Khan can do, what fucking Kenny Omega can do, as he also has his Twitch streams where he says he's a horrible EVP and he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
And then is on camera and like there's no cohesion in any of this.
Right. Can I just go back just a moment, just to something you said about them still being like, we're still going to pay you for the 30 days. Is that just an attempt at like the power move? Is that supposed to be like the $1 Million Man style? Like, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to give you money, but I'm still going to hurt you. And that's what's worse, is that now that I'm in control.
It in no way came across that way.
Oh, okay. Because not seeing it, just hearing it, that makes sense. Like, oh, I'm going to kick your ass. And by the way, you're now going to get paid. I'm going to pay you to sit home and do nothing on my TV show because I have that much power and money and I'm rich.
It was kind of like a nice guy move. It's like, well, don't worry. You'll still get paid for 30 days. Why? What does that mean? Does anybody talk about this shit backstage before you go out there and say any of it? Yeah. That if you say the idea of like, yeah, we're still going to pay you for 30 days. No.
Do you think that they're winging it too much? Like you just said that and made me think like, did he not even know he was going to say that until that moment? Are they ad-libbing too much?
I have never been a fan of being the elite.
Right. I know you mentioned that, like their brand of humor does not track with you.
It doesn't track with me. There's no structure to it whatsoever.
Right.
I've never thought it to be funny, and I find no structure in anything, and any of the stuff I've observed in comedy over the years, just by absorption, any of the classes I've taken, whether it's writing, whether it's improvisation, any of the myriad of stuff, any of the people I've hung around with, it's just random weird stuff that doesn't hit with me, and I don't fucking get it. And I acknowledge that I don't get it. But when that's a YouTube-based show, so clearly that worked because you found an audience that said, we like this YouTube-based show where you can do all the random shit and we like it. Whether it's they get to see wrestlers doing things or whatever it is that's appealing about it, that pulled people in, that keep them watching it, fine, that works. For a television show, doesn't work.
Right.
Can't do it for a 2-hour television show.
Right.
Weekly with a format that has been set by years and years and years of other wrestling shows to tell you, hey, you have to have structure. Because when we've seen no structure, we've seen WCW at its worst.
Right.
We've seen NWA at its worst. We've seen WWEF at its worst.
Sure.
When it feels like, are they just making this up? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
And
Just
this
getting
has that.
rewritten
Like
at the beginning of the broadcasts. Yeah.
Where Zecca had told me, and I may be screwing the pooch here on a potential future watch along.
Yeah, poor Pooch.
He had described an entire segment that was leading up to the buildup of Double or Nothing, and said the whole thing. He says, "I swear to you, it's like watching WCW in 2000." And then we watched it together post King and Queen of the Ring.
Okay.
And I was like, not just because Jeff Jarrett is there does it feel like WCW
Right.
2000.
There's a familiarity in character, but
holy shit, this was a train wreck. This was a mess of a segment of.
I want to watch it.
the match that consists of Satnam Singh versus Bryan Danielson.
Right.
Then leading into the rest of the Jarrett squad getting involved, and then the Young Bucks getting involved, and then the Flamethrower and Darby Allin and Tony Khan. Like it's all fucking chaos. And it's also the majority of the performers aren't good.
Okay.
Again, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's subjective, of course.
But I don't know. I think it helps to have an emotion on your face when something big happens, like say a flamethrower appearing for the first time on wrestling television.
Yeah.
You pick an emotion and go with it.
Right.
Glee, contempt,
Right.
rage, fear,
Shock and horror. Yeah.
do one. And the majority of people out there didn't do one.
Right.
So it's shit like that where you can tell me on paper and go like, hey, it's EVPs. They're throwing their weight around. They're doing this. Like, oh, okay. But then when I see it executed, I go, this doesn't look professional in any sense. This doesn't look legit. They don't feel like a threat. I'm not worried about the people that they're doing it to because they're not. Christopher Daniels isn't on fucking TV. He was already retired.
Right.
I'm fingering right now.
Yes. He was fingering. He was actively fingering you guys.
He was retired and the team was done. And then his eye was all fucked up, but now he's back. Like none of this makes any sense.
Yeah, I understand.
So I can't follow along. Like wrestling can treat me so dumb for so long until I go like, okay,
right.
I'm not this dumb.
You have a threshold.
Yeah.
It's a bummer too, because I do really love that archetype. I love a heel who acts like a baby face. Like, I mean, I've said before on the show, I think like because we've been talking about him recently because of the Wyatt stuff and the vignettes, but like when Bo Dallas was doing the Bo Leave stuff and NXT and being smiling and happy as he was being booed out of the building, like that's such a fun gimmick. When Jericho came back that one time and didn't speak for like 3 appearances, where he just came out and didn't do anything and was just smiling, and eventually people started booing him. Like little things like that, like that can be fun. Like there's stuff to play with in those characters. So it sounds
like a Bobby
fun.
Heenan. Bobby
Heenan's a great one.
Being a guy from Beverly Hills, and because he said you don't come from Hollywood. Have you been there? It looks like trash.
Yeah.
He's from Beverly Hills and would come out and know that he's great and glamorous, and then usually knows that people don't like him, but would kind of have a start over when he comes out, and then when people boo him, and it's like a turn and a, hey, how dare you?
And he has one-liners and jokes that he has pre-written and that he's been probably tested on every audience he's ever been in, because they're doing house shows all the time. But
Heenan, no, he's a different beast. Like, he just comes up with shit.
But that's what I'm. Yeah, but he had lines that he would repeat still, like any performer. And I bet you that it was just like, he had an experience working a crowd that I think some of maybe these people just don't have.
I disagree with the Heenan preemptive lines on a whole different level, but I do agree that there are many a performer that did have shit that worked and they would do it and it worked. But I used to really like AEW, sometimes for the train wreckiness, and it was fun and different. But right now, this is the main story. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's helping anything. I think it's driving people away.
And it's has nothing to do with your world title.
It's nothing to do with the world title.
I haven't heard shit
a
about...
correction here too.
Go ahead.
Of what something you said of the Dynamite that was right after Swerve Strickland's win.
Yeah.
And you're saying like, oh, they fucking didn't do anything with him.
Right.
And then it was from what I had gathered and what I saw, it's like, oh, they were trying to do a big thing with him on the NBA. Like the NBA was ending and then that show, it was a big deal.
Right.
But then there was nothing. And it was consistent of like the world champion is being treated like shit. He's in matches that are taking way too long against tomato cans and he's not getting segments. His shit doesn't make sense. He's not fighting the EVPs,
right?
Or he doesn't have a stance. So I was totally wrong on that. I thought, no, they're going to treat him all right. Nope.
They didn't.
It's inconsistent and fucking weird. And now Tony is a cartoon character that everyone knows about. And his interviews are getting more and more embarrassing. It's really exposed for what it is. And it's constantly on repeat.
Right.
And I want to like it. There's a lot of people I like there, but it's a fucking train wreck of a show.
Well, thanks for the call, Tim. Great hearing from you.
Don't eat that. That's not a banana.
You're the fucking best. Please call more often. We miss hearing from you. You got a fantastic voice and a wonderful presence. And you call your parents. Call your parents. Let's see what else we got in the hotline.
Hey, fellas. It's Cousin Paul from Long Island. Calling about video packages. What video package, no matter how often you've seen it, which one gets you hyped the most? Like, for example, The Rock versus Steve Austin, My Way video package. Would love to hear your answers. Okay. Love you guys.
Paul B from Long Island. I love that little boy. Love that baby boy.
Is he shorter than you?
No, he's like probably got an inch on me now at this point. 2 inches maybe. I don't know. He's like 6'7".
Now? Is he growing or are you shrinking?
Yes. Best video packages. Packages that just get you every time you see them.
Get you hyped.
That get you hyped.
So
this is tough for me.
Mojo?
This is tough for me because I don't recall like really. I remember when a package was good, but I don't rewatch them. Like I can think back and go, oh, I remember the video package for this match was fucking unique and cool, and I remember in the moment thinking it was really good, but I didn't go back and rewatch it, so I don't have that thing that Paul is talking about where he says like, oh, every time you see it again, it gets you.
What is one that you remember that got you?
Fuck. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly in fucking NXT post Undisputed Era, where it was like they were really toying with like graphic effects and visual effects, and it was really slick, and they like showed old clips and they fucked with the color grading and they added like fucking rain, and it was like they made it very cinematic and cool. And that I remember that one thinking in the moment like, fuck, that was a really great, well done video package. You know what? Not what he's talking about because it was a memoriam, but Pat Patterson when that fucking like Pat Patterson video.
Fucking hyped. I'm hyped for him to
that shit got me hyped every time. But then I mean it got me.
Yeah, they make incredibly tearful.
Yeah.
Sad. Because I just heard I haven't heard the song in forever. It was played in an episode of The Office, that I Will Remember You.
Oh, sorry.
Song.
Yeah.
And that was what they played for Foley.
Right.
When he was retired the first time, and that destroyed me. And then they would play it a lot, and then it became a heel thing that Triple H would play it, and it's like, fuck you, I'm still gonna cry. But one that gets me fucking beyond hyped, it's how it ends. It's the Hogan and Andre video package for WrestleMania 3.
Okay. The one that leads up to it, the promo package?
Yeah. So it's because they didn't do a whole lot of them leading up to a match. But this one, they do it. It's all the major beats. You see a lot of stuff actually play out rather than just the like a sound bites and quick cuts. And they do the moment of Andre grabbing the shirt and the cross and ripping it off Hogan. And the story goes that Andre's fingernail had dug into Hogan's chest and it cuts him after he did it.
Right.
And then Hogan's, what happened, man? Hey, I thought we were friends, man. Hey. And then Piper's down there with him and Hogan's holding his shirt and the cross. And then Piper goes like, "You're bleeding.
Right.
You're bleeding." And, "Tell me, will you or will you not face Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3? And Hogan answers immediately.
Yeah.
But there's a moment that makes it feel like it's an eternity because of the switch. Again, this goes back to whatever you feel about Terry Bollea and a small penis compared to Hulk Hogan and his large penis. The performer is outstanding.
Right. Yes.
Because he is heartbroken. He's crestfallen. He is holding his God in his hand.
Sure. Like
right?
the imagery. Yeah.
It's amazing of what all comes together in that moment and how it's played out in this Piper's Pit. And Hogan, every part of him, you think he's going to say no, and he's just going to walk away. But he lifts his head up, and the wild eyes that are in all the action figures now, the crazy Hogan eyes, and they add some fucking reverb to it, just a little bit to make it seem otherworldly.
Right. Right.
And he goes, "Yes!" And his head shakes and his voice quivers, and they cut to the crowd. And it's this massive ovation of everyone's right behind Hogan. They're not going to step in front of him because it's Andre the Giant, for fuck's sake.
Of course.
There's like one guy particularly, like this guy in a trucker's hat and a flannel, and just like, he's like, just giving like a big fist pump of like, "Fuck yes, my guy is going to do it." But the way that Hogan goes, "Yes," that's what leads up to the match. And you go like, "Fucking go.
Right.
Just let's do this." It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's got all the ingredients.
It's got all the ingredients. And it might have music. I never know or really care because it doesn't matter. But they certainly got amazing with the video packages with
Sure.
licensed music, original music, any of that stuff.
Right.
But that one gets me like to another level.
Nice.
Like I feel like I could jog for at least 3 minutes after seeing that.
Wow. That's a big deal. 3 entire minutes?
Yeah. And then real quick going like, "Oh no, what have I done? I need to see that video package again."
That's fucking 290% more than your usual. Well, thanks for those calls.
That's being generous.
747-666-5606. 747-666-5606. If you'd like to leave a voicemail, or you can send a memo to hotline@pwpalskis.com. Scott Narver, you got anything else? We got to get out of here. We also have to pick a champion. I know you got real excited. Explain to the children what you have. This is going to end up being a full-length episode.
I am holding WWE Mad Libs. We'll just do one.
Okay. He's very excited about his WWE brand. Can you wait? Show me the cover again.
We talked about this for a while.
Yeah. Show me the cover again.
You and I.
This is scratch logo WWE. On the cover is John Cena, Taker, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and Triple H. Is there a date on the back of that?
Yeah. 2011.
Nice. 2011 World Wrestling Entertainment Mad Libs.
So I'll give a quick rundown for maybe not everyone knows Mad Libs.
Everybody knows Mad Libs, really?
I don't want to assume. So ridiculously simple directions in this tablet. You will find stories containing blank spaces where words are left out. One player, the reader, selects one of these stories. The reader does not tell anyone what the story is about. Instead, they ask the other players, the writers, to give them words. These words are used to fill in the blank spaces to the story.
Can't believe we're doing this. Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I've hyped this up for a while to you.
You have.
All right. So I'm gonna just go to the first one.
Wow.
So
Start
the
at the
first
beginning.
story here.
You have to assume they're going to lead with their best match, right?
Yeah, that's what a curtain jerker always is. Yeah.
Yep.
Totally. So, well, maybe I'll be selective now that you're. Hey, look, we had done one. I think this was on curtain jerks. Okay, I got a story. So I'm gonna make a little list at the same time here.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna write in the book.
You don't want to write in the book? Wow. He's non-committal, you guys.
Well,
he
we
did
can
it
do
for
again,
curtain
'cause you'll
jerks,
forget.
though.
Yeah, but Steve Sears had a better memory than you.
All right.
Brian, you want me to write in the book? I don't know if I have a
do
pen.
it.
That's the other reason
You
why.
do whatever you want, baby boy.
Does it work?
Never seen a man so bothered looking for a pen before.
All right. Plural noun.
A plural noun.
Yeah, repeat doesn't count.
Jorts.
I need a noun.
A dick sword. It only took 2 before I said a curse.
An adjective.
A curly.
A curly.
Yeah. No, curly.
Noun.
I'm trying to wonder if I should keep it wrestling themed or not.
Just say, give me a noun.
Okay. PWP phone case. Is that too proper of a noun? Is that a proper noun?
That seemed like it really hurt you.
It did.
It's like a guy looking for a pen. A noun. Person, place, or thing.
The Sin Cara dick shirt.
Boy, someone's obsessed with dicks.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm assuming you didn't play this game a lot.
No, I hate Mad Libs.
You hate this?
No, I mean it's fun with you here now today on this special beautiful
Why do you
day.
hate Mad Libs?
It was never as rewarding in the end as it was coming up with the words.
Oh, okay, so this is the best part too.
Yeah, it is.
Adjective.
Jumpy.
Noun. He's looking around.
Nia Jax's hole.
Your nouns are very strange.
This book took place in 2011, so we're going to look into the future here.
Adverb.
What's an adverb again? It's a modifier? I'm having a brain fart right now.
Usually ends with ly.
Right. Gently.
Another adverb.
Roughly.
Another adverb.
Oh my goodness. Apathetically.
Adjective.
Gorgeous.
Look at you. Coming in with the good ones now. You need a little warm up. Noun.
Remote control.
I like it. I like
No,
it.
I definitely didn't look around the room for that one either.
No.
Not one bit. I also
Natural.
I do have Nia Jax's hole on the wall because I also picked that up.
I'm sure. Yeah. When, you've been with a partner for too long, Need some stimulation. Noun. It's a queen hole, by the way, now.
Oh, shit. Okay, crown. You inspired me.
Person in room.
Scott Narver. Didn't say which room.
I didn't. This is true.
Chat room. Or Zoom room.
Adjective.
Sluggish.
And finally, noun.
Let's go with shampoo bottle. Yeah.
You really brought it home in the end there, buddy. Think
Fucking main
everything's going to turn around for Mad Libs.
Main event of that fucking shit.
Story is, who is the greatest of them all?
Oh, is this like this is the defining? This is it. Like we're gonna decide it right now for all of wrestling history.
It's been decided. If you measure a WWE champion by how many jorts he has won, Triple H would have been considered the greatest. But if you consider the length of time a champion has defended his dick sword, then Bruno Sammartino is by far the most curly. But I think a champion is measured by the strength of his PWP phone case as well as the content of his Sin Cara dick shirt. A true champion doesn't need to wear a jumpy costume or talk trash about his opponent's Nia Jax's hole. He fights gently, wins roughly, and reigns apathetically. A true champion knows that success does not depend on physical capacity alone. It comes from a gorgeous inner remote control. Champions know that the task ahead can always be overcome by the crown within. That's why Scott Narver, also known as the sluggish shampoo bottle, will become the greatest WWE superstar of them all.
Yeah, really brought it home there at the end, kids. I like that it implied that we all have a Nia Jax's hole. That was my favorite part about it. Everybody's got one. Well, listen,
I like that it inferred that it did infer. We know that those matches between Triple H and John Cena, jorts were on the line.
Yeah.
And he won so many of his jorts.
I didn't realize that it was a title versus jorts. They should have done a mask versus jorts with like Sin Cara versus, I'm sorry, Sin Cara, I said. Yeah, sure, why not? I meant to say Rey Mysterio, but let's go with Sin Cara instead. Sin Cara versus Cena, mask versus jorts.
It was like a gentleman's agreement backstage. Like, hey, if I win, I give you your jorts. Like, no.
Who else?
Yeah, I do.
Who else has a like a ridiculous gimmick? Well, not gimmick, but like an article of clothing that they wear that's like kind of silly. Is there another
Mick
person?
Foley in sweatpants?
Yeah, maybe. So we could have done a sweatpants versus jorts match.
Zack Ryder in a headband?
Or wait, Zack Ryder's one-legged, half trunks, half legs. Yeah. Do you think that when Cena retires, they're gonna raise jorts up to the rafters like their jersey, like it's a jersey?
They fucking better.
In Madison Square Garden. Well, there you go. Mad Libs, because
did you like it?
Sometimes you have to do something for the kids. Yeah, I mean, it's you sold it. I liked it because you were the one reading it.
I liked it because you came up with words.
I did. I came up with a few words. I did shampoo bottle.
Yeah, you even did adverbs. Look at you.
I did. I figured out what an adverb was.
You can now give a commencement speech at a school that you didn't attend.
Tell women that their place is in the kitchen behind their husbands, like that fucking football player.
Look at this guy.
whoever.
He is a pro wrestler.
Alrighty, it's time for the PWP Championship, kids. You know what this is. Become a championship level Palski over at patreon.com/PW Palskis. That's patreon.com/PW Palskis. And you are entered into the monthly Championship Palski Battle Royal. It is
He's doing
time.
some
I'm
fingering.
fingering the jar. And here is the winner. Proud to announce. And still PWP champion. It is Gilbert Short, aka Goliathon. Now tied with Andrea Beeler for most championship victories and longest reign. Gilbert Short, congratulations on your victory. I mean, exciting. This is exciting stuff here.
Unprecedented?
No, it's precedented because Andrew's done it once.
You said this is the first time that two people have ever done it.
Oh, okay. Sure. First time two people have done something. You are correct. I apologize. I'm an idiot. But patrons are not idiots. Thanks to everybody who continues to support this program.
One of them might be.
Which one do you think? I want a name. I need a noun.
I'll
I need
name
a
them
proper
all.
noun. I need a proper noun.
I'll name each and every single one of them, and you figure out which one the idiot is.
Well, we should do we should take one of those Mad Libs and find one that has roughly the amount of like patrons we have, and then just send each of the patrons like, give me a noun, and then we'll get one word from every patron, and then we'll do that at the end.
I know. It's like I was thinking of this being a recurring interactive thing in some way.
Oh my God, who would have thought you had an idea once? Once again, congrats, Gilbert. Keep your eye on the email. You know the scoop. And yeah, big things happening. Thanks, guys. We ended up doing a longer episode than we anticipated, which means I'm rushing get the hell out of here. Scott, thank our current Patreon Palskis.
Thank you to all of our Patreon Palskis. We're now in the month of June, which means we are in the theme of once in a lifetime for our watch-alongs, which is a super fun theme. Matches that only occurred between opponents one time ever. So you're not going to want to miss out. In case you thought about being a Patreon Palski or you want to get a watch-along series, check out these matches. These are going to blow your mind. So thank you to AJ0314, aka Binary, aka Matrice69, Alex Pierce, aka Figs, aka Zitoys, Andrea Beeler, aka Pollen Hate, aka Achu Detest, Curtis Mason, aka Hurtis, aka Auche, Gilbert Short, aka Goliathon, aka Batel Underruz, aka Still the PWP champ, Mass Llama, aka Spitz, aka Jakara Laver, Michael Beltran, aka Limestone, aka La Naturel, Miguel Diaz, aka Bipod, aka Too Much Husk, Mike Lucas, aka Hackensack, aka Luger Testicle, Shay To Slay, Suicide, aka Tim Bemis, aka War Trek, aka Tussle Quest, Tim Redbeard, aka Blood Fuzz, aka Blue de Fusée, Tom Hader, aka Cupid, aka Cherub, and Tony Griggs, aka Big Griggs, aka Grand Grisois.
Thanks to each and every one of you. We could not do this program without you. We hope you guys had fun joining us today. It is always a blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis. Hey everyone, Jake Lloyd Bacon here.
Along with Paul Bianchi.
And Alexandra Hoy.
Hey, we all host different shows on Dragon Wagon Radio.
We do, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Not at all. We are here to talk about Dungeons and Dragon Wagon,
a narrative podcast series in which we venture into a mythical land for a D&D inspired role-playing game.
Alexandra and I are joined by Matt Hinksman and a very special guest of quest for each chapter of an epic saga in which we must take on the roles of half-orcs, dark elves, and more as we fight our way through a fantastical land of peril, drama, and often hilarity.
All of which is controlled by me, the Dungeon Master, and the players' chance rolls of the die.
And our show is for everyone. Even if you know nothing about D&D or role-playing games, we've got you covered.
That's right. Our game sessions are highly edited, easy to follow, sound designed from top to bottom, and completely immersive.
Yeah, our episodes sound more like a well-produced radio drama than an RPG show.
So what are you waiting for? Join the adventure on Dungeons and Dragon Wagon at dndwpod.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
It's Dragon Wagon.